That's when the good stuff and the hard work really started, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So we were really pleased to kind of move on because the transition period was quite challenging for everyone emotionally and physically. We exhausted the boys
Yeah.
going out to places every day. So we brought them home, and what we hadn't thought about is having to explain everything. So we know, what we do, where our kettle is, where the cereals are kept, what we do, where the fridge is. So actually, you've got to kind of introduce them to the house, make them feel, explain what we're going to do, where we're going to go, and all of that took a lot longer than normal.
Yeah, yeah.
And often we'd do things and then go, why did we get that reaction? And they go, we didn't actually tell them that's what was going on. So we learned a lot, didn't we? There's a lot of reflection in those first couple of weeks.
Quite understand. We just hadn't thought it through in advance as much as perhaps we might have done. But understandably, there's a huge amount of insecurity on the part of the three boys when they found themselves living in an entirely new, despite all of the preparatory work, and despite a visit the week before they actually moved to our house. They visited with the foster carers. But it's a huge upheaval for them. And so there was a huge amount of insecurity around and just wanting to know everything to the nth level of detail, and and it was getting into that habit of telling them an hour before we were going to do something, telling them again 10 minutes before we were going to do something, telling them that we were now going to do something, and just supporting them through that transition. And it took a lot longer for one of the three than for the other two, given levels of insecurity. But over time, we don't have to do that so much. We do still occasionally think we might have had an easier ride of that if we'd actually warned them an hour before we did it. But they've very much adjusted over time.
A lot of the preparation was around how to specifically support children who've been through the adoption process, and how you might change your parenting style. What the preparation didn't or can't do is go, you'll be really tired, you'll have no time, all the sort of adjustments you needed to make in your expectations about how much you need to focus on the children, all the practical stuff like where do we buy a school uniform from, all the when they're going into school in 2 days' time because the decision was only made 2 days earlier. All those things, you can sort all those things out, but they take time whilst you're also trying to really support the children who have just started living with you. So there's just such a lot to do, isn't there? Practically, as well as what you really want to do is spend loads of time playing with them, and giving them attention. And you were kind of torn between every minute of the day, you needed to either do something practical or spend time getting to know them.